사실은 영화를 기획하고 준비할 때부터 촬영할 때도 그렇고 후반 작업할 때도 그렇고 이 영화가 이렇게 잘 될 거라는 생각은 못했습니다. 늘 우리 영화는 대중성이 좀 떨어진다고 생각했고 특히 젊은 관객들이 이제 45년 전에 있었던 일을 과연 궁금해할까? 또 늙은 아저씨들, 군인 아저씨들만 나오고 옛날식 말투에 전화통화로 싸움만 하는 영화를 그래서 잘 된 게 좀 너무 놀랍습니다.
So, from the very start of planning the film and preparing for the film and shooting the film and even including the post-production process, I really didn't think that this film will do really well. I thought the popularity of Korean films were not as high compared to other films. And I also wonder if the audience today, they will be actually curious about what happened about 45 years ago. These, old guys in the film that they're using kind of old dialects, and you see them like just fighting over the phone. So I wasn't sure if they will be actually interested in watching this film.
You were a teenager when this occurred in 1979. I'd love to hear the story of your memories of finding out that this coup was taking place.
제가 18살 때 저희 큰 형님이 이제 낳은 첫 번째 아들의 생일 잔치가 있었어요. 한국에서는 그 당시만 해도 장손의 이제 첫 번째 장손의 이제 첫돌 잔치는 집에서 크게 성대하게 하는 편이었는데 저희 집도 크게 파티를 해서 저는 밖에 이제 나갔는데 동네에서 지나가는 군용 장갑차를 봤어요. 그래서 우리 동네에 왜 장갑차가 지나가지? 해서 이제 그거를 쫓아갔죠. 쫓아갔더니 제가 다녔던 그 초등학교 뒤에 있는 외무공간 앞으로 가는데 거기가 암전이 되더라고요. 전체가 다 동네 전체가 다 불이 꺼지더라고요.
So this incident happened when I was 18 years old. It was my older brother's firstborn son's birthday, and in Korea, the eldest grandson's first birthday is usually celebrated with a big gathering at home. And I was told to go outside, so I was hanging outside, and I saw a military armored vehicle passing by. So I was wondering why was there an armored vehicle in my neighborhood, so I started to follow it. And it was going towards the elementary school that I graduated, and it was taking the road beside it on the way to where the official residents were.
육교를 건너서 저희가 다녔던 국민학교 쪽으로 가는데 군인들이 막더라고요. 막는데 바로 그 순간에 총소리가 났어요. 그래서 군인들이 몸을 엎드리고 갑자기 그래서 저도 따라서 몸을 엎드리고 집에 가라 그래서 이제 가는데 등 뒤에서 집으로 가는데 계속 총소리가 들리더라고요. 그래서 너무 무섭지만 또 제가 그때 이제 고3이어서 그 나이여서 그런지 굉장히 호기심이 발동해서 다시 돌아갔어요. 다시 돌아가서 그 도로 건너편에 있는 제 친구 집에 3층 옥상에 올라가서 이제 그 총소리가 나는 곳을 계속 지켜봤죠.
So I climbed up the overpass to be able to see what was happening there, and I was immediately stopped by the fully armed soldiers, and when they told me to go back, that's when we heard the gunshot together, and everyone just basically dropped to the ground. And they were telling me to go home, but we kept hearing this gunshot, so I couldn't go back. I was terrified, but I was 18 years old, so I was very curious about what was happening. So I kind of went back and just crossed the street at my friend's rooftop. I climbed over there to see what was happening.
육교에서 머리를 내놓지 못하고 이렇게 눈만 내놓은 상태에서 자동차 불빛들이 있는 이제 영화에도 나오는 입구에서 벌어지는 군인들의 그런 이렇게 흔들리는 모습이랑 총소리를 계속 듣는데 그 총소리가 어찌나 크게 들리는지 그리고 그 총소리가 이렇게 밤 하늘로 막 솟구쳐 올라가는 듯한 그런 느낌이었어요. 근데 너무 무섭고 그러면서도 한편으로는 왜 우리 동네, 저희 집이 이제 서울의 중심가니까 왜 여기서 이런 누가 누구를 향해서 총을 쏘나 하는 거가 너무 궁금했고 그 오래된 궁금증이 이제 아마 제 마음속에 있다가 이 영화를 하게 된 큰 계기가 된 것 같습니다.
So the soldiers, the military actually caused a blackout in the neighborhood, so I couldn't see anything. So from the overpass, from my friend's rooftop, I was just barely put my eyes up, and I was able to see what was going on. And just like you see in the movie, there's some lights, the headlights coming out from the cars, and that was barely what was I seeing. But I was hearing the gunshots, and it was almost like the sound of the gunshot was piercing through the sky. It was very loud. And I was terrified, but at the same time, I was wondering why was this happening in the center of Seoul and who was shooting whom. And this curiosity, I think, led to eventually me making this film.
My understanding is that this story has been told on Korean television, but never as a film. Had you been wanting to tell this story, as you said, it's been more than 40 years. Had you been wanting to tell this story for a long time, or was there something recently that made you decide that now is the right time to talk about this?
2000년대 초반에 텔레비전에서 이 이야기를 한번 다룬 적이 있는데 그때는 이 12.12만 다룬 게 아니고 그 군사 정권이 들어서면서 이제 13년 동안 오랫동안 집권했던 그 이야기를 다룬 드라마였어요. 근데 그 드라마는 약간 그 당시에 정부가 이제 좀 의도적으로 이 사실을 좀 공표하려고 했던 드라마였어요. 근데 이번에 이제 새로 보니까 또 그런 드라마가 사실 재현에 좀 입각하고 약간 프로덕션 밸류가 그렇게 사실적이진 않아서 그때는 굉장히 재밌었지만.
So the TV series that was made in the early 2000s, it wasn't just including this December 12 incident, but it was actually a narrative that includes the whole when the military regime took over the Korean government for 13 years. So it was about the whole narrative of that. And I think the government at the time they were intentionally trying to reveal what happened during this time, and it was very based on actual events. So I thought the production values were not as good, although it was very fun to watch.
근데 그 큰 TV 스테이션에서 할 때는 그게 가능했지만 이제 그냥 일반 영화인이나 일반 영화사에서 아직도 그 사람들이 이제 그 한국 사회의 상층부에 여전히 큰 힘을 발휘하고 있었기 때문에 그 영화를 찍는 게 쉬운 결정은 아니었어요. 그런데 이 제작자분이 오랫동안 이 시나리오를 잘 개발해서 이제 2019년에 저랑 같이 하자고 한 거고 또 그 다음에 이제 영화를 막 준비할 때가 팬데믹 기간이어서 굉장히 그 영화 산업이나 극장 상황이 너무 안 좋았는데 또 여기 지금 저기 계신 우리 그 플러스 M이라는 한국의 이제 투자 배급사에 계신 사장님이 굉장히 어렵게 이게 되게 이제 민감한 이슈인 영화인데도 결정을 했어요. 그래서 아마 그 두 분의 그런 용감한 결정이 이제 이 영화에 좋은 결과를 가져왔다고 생각합니다.
So it was possible to turn it into a TV series at the time, but I think to turn it into a film wasn't very easy because those people from the military regime, they were still in power at the time in Korea. But the producer who made this, he developed this story for a very long time. And finally in 2019, he gave me the script. But the preparation actually happened during the pandemic, where the film industry and the theater business was not doing very well. But you see, our investor here is the Plus M.
Mr. Hong Jong-in, he made a big decision to invest for this movie.
So along with him and the producer, they were able to make this very courageous decision to make this film that's dealing with somewhat sensitive issues. So I think it's really because of their bravery.